everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, make sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter at SuperHypeDC, and turn on notifications so you know when I post another video. Shouts out to anyone who tuned in for the live stream last night. It was my first one. I kind of did it on short notice because I felt like I just had to break the ice, get that first one out of the way, because I have been very nervous about it. Even though I've been on other people's live streams recently, doing your own is very different. So I'm glad I got that first one out of the way, and it was a lot of fun. So I hope to keep doing them more regularly and giving more of a heads up instead of just like, hey, join me in an hour or two, you know. But I got that first one out of the way, and I can do them more regularly, more comfortably, and hopefully start having people join me as guests and stuff. So on that live stream, I talked about some of the highlights of the Sunday event, Deck the Hall of Justice, which I was very happy and thankful to be a part of, for the World's Finest panel. Of course, you know, Ray Fisher was on a panel, Zack Snyder was on several, Deborah Snyder was on one. So I just talked about a bunch of that cool stuff. So if you haven't watched my live stream, you can still access it on my channel. You can watch it there if you weren't able to tune in during the actual live stream. Also, don't forget to check out my merch. The link is in the description. It should be in a card floating around here. Tap on that little icon that looks like an eye, and you should see it there as well. So there was a couple things from the Deck of Hall of Justice that one thing I mentioned in my live stream last night, but one thing was pretty significant I forgot to mention. And so first of all, a lot of you probably heard it. Zach, during the panel with Dave the Film Junkie and Chris Wong from Ping Pong Flicks, and Nicotina was there too for some time, he just randomly, as he tends to do, played a quick snippet of the Junkie XL score, and it was not a part that was played during the DC fandom when Junkie XL played a little part of his score. It sounded very different, so some people are speculating that it might be Steppenwolf's theme. In BVS is kind of when they introduce, like, each character is going to have their own theme. So Man of Steel, we got Superman's, and then again we heard it in BVS. And then in BVS, Batman had his theme, Wonder Woman had hers, Lex had his. So it seems like they might be possibly continuing that in Justice League. I don't know if like each Justice League member is going to have a theme, but there might be, you know, Steppenwolf might have a certain theme that they play when he's kind of taking the spotlight in certain scenes. And the reason people are thinking that it might be Steppenwolf's scene is because, or theme, is because when Zach quickly showed his phone really quick during the stream, there were like little clips on his phone screen. It looks like there's a clip of like Steppenwolf. It looks like the scene from the teaser when he blasts down into the tomb in Themyscira to try to steal the mother box. And then under that you see like what looks to be Batman. And it's very hard, like metal feel to it. And it's only like 6 seconds, but it sounds awesome. Let's go ahead and play that real quick if you haven't heard it. Even if you had, just listen again.
Oh.
Awesome, right? Like Junkie XL is gonna do, I cannot wait to hear his score. Like the little sample that he played during DC Fandom sounded amazing. That sample was like very heroic, and it seems like I'm expecting the sample that he played at DC Fandom to be played when like the whole league is together in some way. Something really cool and heroic and inspirational or hopeful is happening. That's just what I got from the feel from the sample at DC Fandom. This one is a very different feel from that, right? But we know that the score plays such an important role in the entire feel and tone of the movie. It's just ridiculous that they completely scrapped his score and brought in Danny Elfman. The score, like, I'm sure lots of you have probably seen, like, especially that fight scene, you know, Superman versus the League. People will just put, like, the score from BVS with that scene from Justice League, and it already completely changes the feel of the movie. Like, and that's just one scene. Like, for me, that scene, Justice League versus Superman, the League versus Superman, whatever, that to me is the most watchable scene in the theatrical cut. And it's probably because it's mostly, you know, it's Zack, but it's also probably gonna be longer for sure in Zack Snyder's Justice League. And it seems like Superman probably won't speak in the original one from Zack, because every time he spoke in the theatrical version, it was, you know, Play-Doh mouth. So anyway, just going back to the score, it really can change. Like, okay, say they had still done all the same reshoots and kept the movie the way they did for the theatrical cut. But if they had kept Junkie XL's score, it still would have made the movie feel different. Like, the score is so important, and I like Man of Steel and BVS have like probably my favorite scores I've ever heard in films ever. Wonder Woman's is also really good. The first Wonder Woman. I haven't seen Wonder Woman 84 yet. I plan on seeing it opening day in theaters, but I expect that Hans Zimmer has done an absolutely amazing job on that score as well. And so I cannot wait to hear Junkie XL's score for 4 hours. Like, it's going to be amazing. Seeing it paired up with Zack's beautiful visuals and storytelling is awesome. So there's that. And then another thing I wanted to point out that I kind of had forgotten to last night during the live stream is during one of the panels that Zack joined. It was an international panel, John Doe Movie Reviews. They had some really good questions for him, and one thing that they asked him that I had never even crossed my mind, to be honest, and that is, it never crossed my mind that, I mean, it makes total sense because we know what happened, you know, what went on, a lot of the stuff that went on. They asked him, was there anything, sorry, dropped something. Was there anything that you were kind of forced into filming for the studio that you will not be using in Zack Snyder's Justice League? And he's like, oh, there's tons of stuff that I was very happy to get rid of. And so that is really significant. Like, it makes a lot of sense, but I had never even thought about it that way. Like, we know that there were things that the studio was, you know, pretty much forcing Zack to do to please the general audience and the critics. And so, I mean, he had made it pretty clear that on one of the streams he was on, was it a stream that he was on? Yeah, I think so, a while back, that he shot basically what the studio wanted him to shoot, and then like his own footage that he wanted to shoot for himself, because he's like, you know, if ever I get to show my movie, like, I want to shoot, you know, I want to have the stuff filmed that I want, and then, you know, for the studio I'll give them theirs. And that's why he was like, I would have never turned in, you know, a 4-hour movie. And seeing now that it's pretty likely that it's going to have a hard rating, he was not going to present that to them in, like, you know, screenings and stuff, because he knows they're already freaking out about, you know, response to BBS and all of that stuff. And so it seems like for it to still be 4 hours, and, you know, there's stuff that he couldn't wait, that he was very happy to throw out, that was only filmed to appease the studio. For it to still be 4 hours, that means that he, you know, basically filming, okay, I'm doing this for the studio, and then I'm filming this for myself, for my movie. Whether or not I ever get to release it, you know, I'm shooting it. And so that's pretty significant. I have no idea what he could, I don't know what exact scenes that's going to be, of course. I'm guessing it's the stuff that's kind of like, you know, whether we've seen it in trailers or not, or in the theatrical movie. I'm guessing it was the kind of stuff that they wanted him to lighten up, make more, you know, humor, or probably just stuff that, you know, is like easier for the general audience to take in. Basically all of the complaints and, you know, what they tried to do with Justice League, the theatrical version. So I think the only way we'll know what stuff he was happy to throw out that he actually had to film himself, either it was, if it's either in any of the old trailers before the theatrical version came out, or if later on after the Snyder Cut has been out for a while, maybe then after that he might come out and share, you know, if he continues to interact with fans on streams, which I expect him to, maybe he'll share at some point like some of the stuff that he had to film for the studio in 2016, but that he was happy to get rid of for his cut, Zack Snyder's Justice League. So I'm very interested to see what some of that stuff was. Although maybe it's not some of the stuff we saw in the trailer. I don't know. He cut those old trailers down. Not the last one, because the last one has a lot of reshoot footage in it. But the first few ones he cut himself, and so, you know, maybe that's all stuff that will still be in Zack Snyder's Justice League, because I don't think he'll show. I don't think he would personally choose to show stuff that he doesn't want to be in the movie. That's just my opinion. But yeah, just wanted to share that since I kind of forgot to mention it last night. And thanks guys again for watching. Also, don't forget to check out the links in the description to my merch at Teespring, my Teespring store. The link to the AFSP fund for the On Snyder Fund donation. You can donate there or share the link. And you can also follow me on Twitter at SuperHypeDC. So thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.